I've not been a big fan of Citizen watches, but is this one gonna change my mind? Let's get into it. Yes, and welcome to the Mad Watch Collector Show. Right, I'm tackling two of my watch phobias today. One, I've never been a massive fan of Citizen. What? Sorry, yes, I know I should. I've been in the Seiko camp, you know, and I sort of see Seiko as the Autobots of the Transformers. Whereas Citizen, I think they're the Decepticons, you know, and when I was a kid, I didn't have any Decepticons. I've always thought that the name Citizen is a bit and I've never found a design of theirs so appealing I need to buy it. My second phobia, titanium. Now in my head I'm programmed to feel a watch on the wrist, you know, and if you've got a stainless steel case and a stainless steel bracelet, you know you've got a watch on. But recently, having reviewed the No Time to Die Seamaster 300, which by the way was over £7,000, and a certain Tudor Pelagos 39, which was £3,500, they both felt too lightweight for the price tag.
Metal should not be that light.
Especially in luxury watches anyway, because I like to feel the weight in the money I've spent. But recently, browsing the Jomashop website, who by the way have a massive range of Citizen watches up for grabs, I found one that took my fancy. It's a Pro Diver, it's green, and yes, it is titanium, but the price of the watch is only $349, which works out at around £276.
Don't forget the import tax.
So this is quite an appealing proposition now. I'm desperate to love a Citizen, and I want to like titanium, and at a more affordable price could make me think less about the weight and more about how it wears. But the big question today is, have I finally fallen in love with a Citizen? Plus, wait till the end, you'll want to hear my wife's first impressions of the watch. Are you Citizen Pro Master ready? Let's go! Okay, so here it is, the NY0100-50X. And I've got to say, for a while I have admired the ProMaster from afar, but there have always been two striking features that makes me go, and they are the pair of pants at 12 o'clock and the fact they put the crown on the wrong side of the watch. These are features that definitely set themselves apart from the rest. I mean, what other brand has the balls, literally, to put a pair of pants at 12 o'clock? But you can already see from the dullish look to this watch, it is titanium. It's not actually grade 2 or grade 5. It's Citizen's very own
super titanium.
And it's also covered in what they call
Duratec.
So titanium is tough, and the Duratec coating must be tough too. Wrong. Wait in a couple of minutes and you'll see why it isn't. I actually love that dull look to the titanium. For some reason it reminds me of the metal Robocop is made out of. Now usually you don't see polishing with titanium, certainly at this price, but obviously Citizen's super titanium, you can give it a good buffing. And I have to say the two polished mid-links on the bracelet is quite attractive. And obviously that emerald sunburst green dial is pretty darn cool too. I like it. Quick spec check! So we've got a 42mm diameter case, 13.5 thick, 48.5 lug to lug, and a pretty strapaholic lug width of 20mm. So pretty decent dimensions. I have to say I was surprised about the 42 diameter, as it looks like a 40. So interested to see how this fits me. So the case, bracelet and clasp and crown and case back is titanium. No, sorry,
super titanium.
Which to you and me is a premium material, isn't it? I mean, it must be because it's got super in the name. But unfortunately, we only have a mineral glass protecting the dial. That to me is a little bit of a schoolboy error. I mean, who can't put a sapphire glass in an affordable watch these days? Seiko. But anyway, I was a little bit surprised about that. The whole watch, because it is made of this titanium, only weighs 111 grams, which is about 40 grams lighter if this thing was made with stainless steel. To me, that is the main feature with titanium. We've got a screw down crown and a screw down case back, and this watch is water resistant to 200 meters. That is Divers ISO certified. So we are dealing with a proper professional tool. Time to look at the bezel. And who better to put it through the ringer than Kurt Santana? Hi, I'm Kurt Santana, and you're watching the World Bezeling Federation. 3 rounds, the look, the grip, and the fidgetability. Let's get a bezeling. Okay, we got a unidirectional 60-click bezel here, fully titanium, like the steel plate in my head. This has a very unusual grip to it with some smoothed off edges. Very attractive, and I do like it. And on to the grip. How much purchase do I have to give for the first ratchet? Is it too light or is it too tight? This is not bad. There is absolutely no backplay whatsoever. And on to the fidgetability. How much do I want to twist this bezel? Morning, noon, and night. And although we don't have any backplay and it has an effortless twist, it's not high on my fidgetable rating. So with a total of 20 points, it does not go on our Hall of Fame leaderboard. Bye-bye, bezel lovers. I was pleasantly surprised, you know. I have recently reviewed a £6,500 Omega Seamaster 300, and the bezel action on this watch is 5 times better. Have a listen. It's certainly not the best bezel action in the world, but I definitely take that.
Could you just click that like button, please? It really helps the channel. Thank you.
So we've got a really solid bracelet here. Solid end links and solid links. Because it's made of titanium, they are very light. They are just a single link. It looks like there are 3 parts to it, but that's just for show. And the links are held together using pin and collars. For anyone that hasn't used pin and collars before, this is what they look like. Little round cylinders that go in one side of the mid link. The pin goes through everything and expands that little cylinder, making it extra tight, meaning you'll never have a link go out of place. Very fiddly, but I think better than just pins alone. Okay, we come to the clasp. We also come to the point where I show you just how tough Citizen Super Titanium with a Duratec coating really is. Now, when I get a watch in for review, I resize it and I wear it for a week to really get to know it. Now, one day, stretching out to get the seatbelt on my car, I knocked the clasp against the stainless steel part of that buckle. And look, a big dirty scratch. And I gotta tell you, I did not hit it hard. So for any other reviewers out there that tell you super titanium with a Duratec coating is super tough, they're not right. If you do buy this watch, don't treat it like shit, because eventually it will look like shit. Anyway, the clasp, and it is a double deployant with a milled scissor. This is all steel titanium, by the way, and the clasp is quite light, but with the fold over security and the 3 micro adjusts, I think it's pretty decent, but not as tough as they say. All right. Okay, let's look at the face. Dial time. And this is pretty, isn't it? This is what makes it the Citizen Hulk. Usually a little bit too sunbursty and blingy for me, especially in this colour green, but I love how it contrasts with the silver polished indices, which I am told are embossed and not applied. Doesn't really bother me. There's a good lot of lume in these markers as well. And again, we have to talk about the pants at 12 o'clock and the Saturn V rocket marker at 6 and 9. Very unusual shapes. The day date window is huge. I'm not a massive day date fan, I gotta be honest. For the watch to be ISO certified, that 3 o'clock needs to be loomed, and you can see at the end of the window it is, but it just elongates that day date a little bit more. I think the day and date wheels should have been white, as the black just doesn't work well with this dial. Talking about not working either, although I like the big chunky handset, the red outline of the minute hand just doesn't work well. If it was orange, now we're talking. Orange just works so well not only with green, but also with dive watches. Overall though, a nice looking design dial, but showing a big pair of pants at 12. So we've got lume on the bezel pip, we've got lume on the hour markers and lume on the handset. Out of 10, how does this puppy glow? Yes, not bad at all, is it? This is Citizen's own proprietary loom. Does resemble BGW9. It has that blue hue to it, but because the handset is so darn big and the 12 o'clock pants are so big, legibility is good. So powering this Citizen Pro Diver is an in-house Myota 8204. I say in-house because Citizen as a company owns Myota. Now, although I really like Myota movements, it's the 8000 series that I don't much like. One, because the automatic rotor inside only goes one way, which means it can't oscillate. Therefore, you really feel it on the wrist sometimes when it goes round the watch. Also, the wind of it isn't that satisfying, but it's definitely a workhorse. 21,600 beats per hour, 21 joules, and has an accuracy of -20 seconds to +40 seconds a day. This watch is running well within its tolerances at +9 seconds a day. Anyway, operating this watch is a little bit difficult
Because I'm not used to twisting a crown on the other side.
It's counterintuitive to me. The movement does offer hacking. You can hand wind an 8024, so no big surprises when operating, but takes a couple of minutes to get used to.
Hello.
On my 6.5-inch wrist, and I've got to say I really like it. Definitely doesn't feel like a 42, more like a 40. I haven't talked about it much yet, but the case back does protrude a lot from the case. But when it's on your wrist, you just don't see it. And even though we do have male protruding end links, they're curved really well. I love how this thing glows in the daylight. Proper emerald, almost like kryptonite. Even though it's titanium and it's only 111 grams, it's not as light feeling as those luxury watches I have reviewed. Does still have a substantial weight to it. So there you go, the NY0100-50X. What do you guys think? Well, first of all, we've got a watch that is affordable and made of titanium. On wrist, I think this watch looks fantastic. Also, I'm surprised how much I've liked that bezel action. The brushed titanium really adds to the grippiness when twisting. And you gotta give a big shout out to the loom. This is an ISO diver, no mucking about, and I really, really appreciate that. Negatives, okay. Well, the pants at 12 o'clock. I wish the minute hand had orange trim around it and not red. I think it would have looked good if both those wheels were white. I'm not a huge fan of the 8000 series Myota, as you can always hear that rotor moving around. And the toughness of the super titanium with the Duratec coating did not pass the test of my daily life routine. Very surprised that it took a beating with such a light abrasive bang. The watch is not as tough as you think it might be. The only other big negative, I think you would agree, is the fact we have only mineral glass protecting the dial. The last thing is a bit of a nitpick, but there is no tapering on that bracelet. A taper from 20 to like 18 or 16 millimeters would have made it a little bit more comfortable for me. So it's that time of the show where I tell you whether this is a winner or a binner. And in all honesty, I think it's a winner. There is just too much going for it at a decent cost for it not to be a winner. It has made me look at other Citizens since I've had this one. I'm tempted on getting the NY0085, which is basically the stainless steel version of this watch. I'd love to do a comparison. Have I now started a love affair of the brand Citizen? No, but it has made me look at them a bit more. Here it is, my wife's first impressions of the amazing Citizen Titanium Pro Diver. This is horrible. Way too blingy. Why is there a pair of pants at the top and a baby bottle at the bottom? It's ugly. Don't like it. Okay. Thanks, wife. Thank you so much for watching till the end of the show. It really helps with the algorithm, you know. If you want to show your appreciation to the Mad Watch Collector channel, there are several ways to do so. 1. Click here to join. Yeah. 2. Get some merch down there. I've sold a few mugs. Sold them to a few mugs as well. Oh, but if I've got you for a few more minutes, take a look at this one. Oh, this is good. This is one of my favorite ones. Yeah, I'm not sure what it is because it's best for viewer, but it's one of mine, so it's got to be good. Go on, click it. It's great. Click it. Click it.